There are towns in America where you can buy a house for less than a Tesla, where rent on a 2-bedroom runs under $800 a month, where in some cases, the local government will literally pay you thousands of dollars just to show up with your moving truck. And before you roll your eyes, good. You should be skeptical, because every single one of these towns is cheap for a reason. And today we are breaking down the numbers like auditors, the cost of living arbitrage, the tax math, the brutal reality nobody puts on the relocation brochure. Here is the thing. Affordable America did not disappear. It just moved somewhere Instagram stopped caring about. Stay until the end, because the final town has a tax structure so aggressive you will immediately start Googling what -20 feels like in January. Town 1, Clarksdale, Mississippi. Picture yourself in Clarksdale. You own your home outright before 40. No mortgage panic, no rent stress, just a quiet porch and blues. Music drifting in from somewhere down the road. The median home price here sits below $90,000. Rent on a 2-bedroom runs around $700. Cost of living runs nearly 30% below the national average. That is not rounding error, that is a structural financial advantage. But here is what nobody tells you. Clarksdale is a ghost of what it used to be. Delta town. Decades of population decline. Agricultural economy that never diversified. The reason prices stayed frozen in time is the same reason your career options here are thin. Translation. This town is a financial oasis, but only if your paycheck arrives from somewhere else. Remote worker. This is a retirement cheat code. Job seeker in white-collar fields. Keep scrolling. Town 2, Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Homes around $95,000, rent near $750. Pine Bluff lost its manufacturing base and watched its population shrink hard over 3 decades. That economic contraction is precisely why you can buy a 3-bedroom brick home here for less than a down payment in Phoenix. Real talk. Crime varies dramatically by neighborhood in Pine Bluff. This is non-negotiable research before you sign anything. The cost of living arbitrage is real, but buying blind here is how people end up bitter on forums, complaining the town lied to them. Translation: buy smart and you are years ahead financially. Buy without doing your homework and you will spend those savings on regret. Town 3, Youngstown, Ohio. Steel collapsed in Youngstown and the housing market never got the memo that it was supposed to recover to coastal insanity levels. Median home price sits around $110,000. Cost of living runs roughly 20% below the national average. Picture yourself in Youngstown, renovated historic home, brick streets, a university presence nearby keeping the cultural pulse alive, snow piling up outside, your mortgage is half what your friends pay in Nashville. Here is the thing. Long grey winters are a real psychological cost. Property taxes vary significantly by parcel, so run the numbers on any specific address before you commit. But cold outside and warm bank account is a trade millions of Americans are actively miscalculating. Town 4, Danville, Illinois. Danville sits at around $80,000 for a median home price. That number will make your jaw drop. And then your Illinois property tax bill will pick it right back up off the floor. But here is what nobody tells you. Illinois has some of the highest property taxes in the country and Danville is not exempt. The purchase price looks like the gold standard of affordability until you run the full annual carrying cost. Do not let a cheap sticker price create cognitive dissonance about your actual monthly obligations. Translation: cheap to buy does not automatically mean cheap to own. Run the full tax math, purchase price, annual property tax, insurance, and any deferred maintenance on older building codes. Then decide. Town 5, Lawton, Oklahoma. Lawton runs on a military economy anchored to Fort Sill. Median home around $140,000. Low property taxes. Practical amenities without the premium markup of a lifestyle city. Picture yourself in Lawton, big yard, clear skies, grocery bills that do not make you wince. Then once a season, tornado sirens go off and you remember this is not California. Real talk, extreme weather here is not a footnote. It is a recurring operational reality. If severe weather genuinely destabilizes your mental health, that cost belongs in your relocation math. For everyone else, steady, affordable, and financially boring in the best possible way. Town 6, Beckley. West Virginia. Beckley is actively trying to buy new residents. Parts of West Virginia have remote worker incentive programs that put real cash in your pocket just for relocating. Median home around $120,000. Coal decline gutted the traditional economy, which is exactly why officials are now rolling out the welcome mat with financial incentives. But here is what nobody tells you. Limited airport access and mountain infrastructure mean this town functionally requires a remote income. If you are tethered to an office somewhere, Beckley is not your move. If you finish work at 5 and want to be hiking by 5:30 with no traffic and no crushing bills, Beckley is worth a serious look. Translation: nature rich, career poor, unless your career lives in your laptop. Town 7, Terre Haute. Indiana, Terre Haute runs around $135,000 for median home price with a flat state income tax of roughly 3%. College town stability keeps prices moderate and keeps the local economy from completely hollowing out. Here is the thing. Terre Haute is boring enough to make your bank account genuinely happy. Safe neighborhoods, predictable costs, no dramatic weather swings, eating your emergency fund. It will never trend on social media. That is actually the point. Translation: not flashy, not Instagram worthy, not expensive. Affordable and stable is a legitimate financial strategy. Stop confusing it for settling. Town 8, Hutchinson, Kansas. Hutchinson sits around $150,000 for median home price. Agricultural economy. Some surrounding counties qualify as rural opportunity zones with real tax perks and potential student loan repayment programs for certain workers. That is a layer of financial engineering most people never even investigate. But here is what nobody tells you. You are in Tornado Alley on flat terrain. Every storm system is visible from 20 miles out. Big sky sunsets are genuine here. And so are the weather events that make you question your life choices twice a year. Real talk. If you can psychologically handle the weather, the cost of living arbitrage in Hutchinson is serious money over a 10-year horizon. Town 9, Elmira, New York. Elmira runs around $130,000 for median home price in a state where people are conditioned to expect $400,000 as a starting point. Upstate New York stagnation created this pricing gap, and it has persisted for years. Picture yourself in Elmira, historic home, Finger Lakes within driving distance, actual seasons with genuine character. Then open your property tax bill and feel the specific pain of New York State fiscal policy. Translation: cheap to buy, not always cheap to own. High property taxes and heavy snow are the carrying costs nobody leads with in the relocation pitch. Run the numbers on unincorporated land versus in-town parcels. The tax variance can be significant. Town 10, Lubbock, Texas. Lubbock sits around $240,000, meaningfully higher than the other entries here, but Texas has no state income tax, and West Texas isolation keeps prices well below Austin insanity levels. Texas tech drives cultural energy and creates a real city feel without the premium. Here is the thing. Texas property taxes are aggressive, and they are a real offset against that income tax advantage. Dust storms and summer heat are not metaphors. They are operational realities. But for a bigger city experience without paying for someone else's zip code prestige, Lubbock delivers. Town 11, Pueblo, Colorado. Pueblo runs around $300,000, dramatically cheaper than Denver, delivering Colorado lifestyle at clearance rack pricing. Mountain views, outdoor access, lower mortgage, no ski town markup on your groceries. But here is what nobody tells you. Crime pockets exist and white-collar job density is thin. Pueblo works best as a base for remote workers who want Colorado access without Colorado prices bleeding them dry. Translation: the geography is real, the savings are real. Do your neighborhood level research before treating the whole city as a uniform opportunity. Town 12, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, no state income tax. Pro-business, regulatory environment. Median home around 310,000 with clean infrastructure and a stable, growing economy. Sioux Falls is not a desperate town offering cheap prices because everything collapsed. It is a legitimate mid-sized city that simply never got caught up in coastal pricing delusion. Real talk, winters here are brutal. We're talking snowbanks taller than your dog and temperatures that make January in Ohio feel like a warm suggestion. Conservative cultural lean is real and worth factoring if that matters to your quality of life. Translation? Your bank account wins every single month. Your winter coat works serious overtime. That is the deal, and for a growing number of Americans, that is an excellent deal. The era of affordable living is not dead. It just moved to places that stopped performing for an audience. It moved to former manufacturing towns. It moved to rural college cities. It moved to places with septic systems and unincorporated land and property. Tax bills that require a spreadsheet to fully understand. Here is the thing. Before you do anything, run 3 numbers. Is your income portable or already secured in the target market? What is the full annual carrying cost, property tax, insurance, local income tax, realistic maintenance? And have you visited in the worst season before committing? Because a town that charms you in October may genuinely break you in February. Stop paying for a lifestyle you cannot afford in a city that does not need you. Sometimes the cheap house is a strategic life upgrade. Sometimes it is cheap for a reason that will cost you more than the savings. Smart relocation is not about vibes, it is about leverage. And now you have the numbers.